Hello there.
Hello.
Could you tell us your name and how you're connected to Mooresville?
Yes, my name is Karen Abercrombie.
Sorry. Thought the mic was on and
I'm glad you're used to multiple takes.
Take one.
Oh yeah.
Sean, is that clock not bothering you? Do you want me to stop it? You want me to stop it? I can stop it.
I'm not getting
You won't do that. It's a bad
Do you have an on and off switch on this?
Nah, it should power up when you plug in.
I won't ask your age because
I have no problem with it.
That's right. That's a bad.
Sorry.
No, because black don't crack. Check the time.
Inconvenience you.
You're good. And I'll
I'm
probably
getting a feed from this one, but I'm not getting a feed from yours.
take this extra one off so they don't jingle, jingle,
it's
jingle.
okay.
Jingle, jangle.
If anything, plug this one into that one and see if it works. Ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna look at it. All right. That's fine. I'm getting a feed again. Now, an official take. Sorry about that.
All right.
In 3, 2.
Hello there.
Hi, hello.
Could you tell us your name and how you're connected to Mooresville?
Yes, my name is Karen Abercrombie, and I'm connected to Mooresville because it is now my home.
Where were you before?
I came here from Los Angeles. I was out there working, doing some film, and I wanted to move back to the East Coast. I was originally born outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but coming back to the East Coast after living out in LA, I didn't want to deal with that cold.
And what have you learned about Mooresville since you've been here?
Oh, it's a beautiful place. It's quickly growing. Oh my goodness. And there is a lot of wonderful history that has not been uncovered, or that people don't know about. I mean, an example, Selma Burke. People would say, Selma who? I did not know who Selma Burke was until I came down here. Everybody, at some point in their lives, they hold a dime in their hands, and they're not aware that an African American woman from Mooresville, North Carolina, created that image on the dime of Theodore Roosevelt. So just, a lot of stuff. And it's important that we know that, because when we know the contributions that people make, then it puts us on even ground, so we can have that respect coming and going. Yeah.
What ties you to Mooresville now? Like, what keeps you here?
I love the feel of the place. I'd lived in New York City for many years and out in Los Angeles, and I like that it's small and I can get around and have a nice sense of community without it being too busy.
Are there any things that have surprised you? Any race relations, things that, especially coming from the North and the West?
Well, yes. Just really surprised, especially after living in New York and LA, where a lot of people just mix together and work together. It's the norm. And then coming here, I was just surprised that it wasn't that way, at least this period in time in history, But I also remember living in the Northeast, and I was like, oh, I'll never live in the South. The things I've heard, I'll never live in the South. But I'll tell you, I love living in the South. It's rich with history, and I love having the opportunity to search out, discover a lot of things that I didn't know, that are linked to my people, my history, and it's all around me, and it never ceases to blow my little mind. And so if I can be a part of helping to unearth that history and share it with not only our children who really need to know about it because they don't get it in history books. And I do know that that was intended, but if I can be a part of educating and sharing the richness of that history, oh, what an honor, what an honor, what an honor.
Do you have plans to do that?
Oh, yes. For example, Selma Burke, and I know she's not the only one, she was an incredible artist from the time she was a little girl. And there were some washes not far from where we're recording this right now, where she would go and sit in the washes and she would dig that clay and she would make those models. And if anybody was looking to try and find where's Selma, all they had to do was go right down to the wash because she was already making and creating and all of those things. Yeah, right there. So I want to tell her story because then she ended up going to New York because she had to get away from the South in order to grow, to express herself creatively. And during the time, the heyday where Harlem was, just amazing, the Harlem Renaissance, she was there. And just so much more history about her that people don't even know. There are schools there that she set up when she was there, and down in Pennsylvania where she lived for a while, that she set up so that people could, and in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where students could come and take free classes. Yeah, she also studied with Henry Matisse in Paris. He thought she was amazing because she was. Yeah.
We're gonna stop right here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Give a brief concession, check one.
What do you feel needs to happen to progress Mooresville and the Charlotte area to become what it can become?
Ask that question again.
What do you feel needs to happen in the area, in the region, specifically even in Mooresville, for Charlotte to become what it can become in the entertainment industry?
Oh, well, Charlotte is on the move. Years ago, right before I moved in and then after I got here, a lot of people were coming in because of the incentive, the tax incentive that was available to production companies. I mean, you had the Hunger Games shot, fairly close, Iron Man, and other films. And then when the incentive was pulled back, then people, Homeland, I don't know how many awards they won for that television show, but after the incentives were pulled, production companies just picked up and they moved out. They went down to Atlanta, the majority of them. That is the new Hollywood right now. But because Charlotte, the lay of the land, and North Carolina in particular, you've got the mountains, you've got the beaches, you've got so much. This place, Mooresville, beautiful old town feel. A lot of the old homes and buildings have been remodeled, and it's beautiful, like George Orwell. You know, you can come right in here. You've got that, and I love it so much, the train station over there. There's so much that could be used to help tell people's stories. And a wonderful thing about Mooresville in particular, you've got so much here without the crazy traffic. So it's a gem. It is a gem. So I would just say marketing, inviting people in, you know, marketing. And I do know that Charlotte is on the upswing a bit. I filmed 2 projects here, a television series that will start running, and a film just probably about 8 months ago. And the incentive, they've added a little bit more back, you know, so that's intriguing and whatnot for people who want to film. You've got quite a few things going on here. So that's good, but we have to raise that incentive a little bit and push when we vote to make sure that things like that happen. We put a lot of people to work, local people, you know.
You mentioned voting. What impressed upon you to vote? And do you recall maybe your earliest memory of, you know, this is, my vote is my voice, or whatever have you on voting?
Oh my goodness. Now, I'm a bit of a history buff. I love history, and the bit of history that I did get when I was going to school, you got a few people. You got Harriet Tubman, you got Frederick Douglass, Crispus Attucks, and trying to think who else. That was pretty much all we got. But just knowing what Africans in America had to go through to be free, and then to be able to vote, the lives that were lost, the pressure that is still on to stop voting, you know, to stop people from getting to the polls. It is so important that we continue to move forward. We take all of the stuff that the ancestors did for us, that they handed us, that they bled and died and cried for, and move forward in that. So voting, I have no option. It is my responsibility, not just my right, but it is my responsibility. And to also encourage others to get out and vote, because your vote, no matter what you are told, it does matter. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
The year is 2023 now,
Yes.
and what we're doing with Mooresville in this documentary is still very unique, in that we're raising Black history that wasn't told. Do you feel the entertainment industry or small towns have a responsibility there, and are you feeling any responsibility in your own life to begin to live those stories?
Oh, I absolutely feel responsibility. I know the struggles, and not even the depth or all of the struggles that were done so that I could sit here today. I don't have to run out and pick cotton or, you know, anything like that, but people's lives, and I want to pay it back, and I want to pay it forward, you know. So yes, it is my responsibility. And the more we come together and move forward and tell these other stories, it just, like I said, it puts us on even ground, you know. If I only know about you is that your people are thugs, uneducated, you know, if that's all I know, then how can I relate to you if I'm from somewhere else? But if I know that Dr. Daniel Hale Williams was a Black guy, a Black man, he was a Black doctor, and he had done the first successful open heart surgery ever. And we all benefit from that. Everybody, no matter what race, color, creed, belief, stuff like that. Garrett Morgan, the stoplight, you know, laying out the lights and laying out the streets and whatnot down in DC, Benjamin Banneker. If all of that knowledge is known, it puts us on even keel. And the fact that while slavery was still running rampant, still very much alive, you would be able to create something, stop, and still could be creative. That blows my mind. You know, in the midst of all of that, still would get away, steal away, and create something. That's mind-blowing. How come we can't do that today? How come we can't be that today? And I'm talking to Black people.
Looking forward, well past the time that both you and I are gone, what do you feel the young Black man or young Black woman needs to know about where we sit today, and why this is important?
It is breath. It is light. It is life. It is hope. And the ability to withstand and continue and want to see another day in spite of, and all the things that have been accomplished in spite of. So you understand a different love that ancestors had with that determination and all the things that they gave us. And so therefore our responsibility to do something with what they've given us in spite of what they had to go through to give it to us. So it's given some depth, it's giving some history, and it's giving a lifeline that one must tow and move forward with. It's pride, self-respect, and so much more. You're welcome.
And moving forward, what would you be able to do to help Mooresville become a better place?
Tell the Selma Burke story. Teach classes, continue storytelling. Opening up minds that have been closed for one reason or another. Igniting embers so that fires of hope burn and ignite a movement, positive, good.
And why is it important to you to tell the Selma Burke story?
Because people need to know, and it will be something that will impact everybody that has ever held change in their hands, because they've held a dime. And to know where that dime came from. And then a lot of people will, well, how come I didn't know that? What else don't I know?
When you say where it came from, both of us didn't know about Selma Burke just on a raw level, but how important is it to contextualize her story? Like you mentioned her being in the wash pits. How important is that contextualization to understand where she came from, not just what she did?
Oh, absolutely important. Because then it inspires and encourages others that are in a wash pit of another sort, that their dreams don't have to die. Sometimes you may have to get up and go somewhere else. Sometimes you may have to use another avenue to be able to use that gift. And that is that individual's my responsibility to do what I do with what I've been given.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.